Hey guys, I got a great deal on a pile of good mud tires for my old Jeep CJ5, but I'm too cheap to go down to the old local tire store and spend 20 bucks a piece to have them mounted and balanced. So follow along today as I'm going to mount all 5 of those tires using this, and I'm going to balance them using these. Okay friends, here's what we're working with today. It's these used mud tires that a guy had on a Razor or other UTV that he decided for whatever reason he was going to sell. Well, I picked them up cheap. I gave 160 bucks for 4 plus a spare, but now I got to get them mounted up on my old Jeep rims. So this is what I plan to do today. You guys may have seen some reviews or not of this. This is the Harbor Freight $39.99 tire machine. The manual tire changer, and then I've been reading a lot about this, balancing my tires using BBs. Now you guys can just take your bets now and put your thoughts down below in the comments and tell me what you think about that technique. Now there's a lot of different theories about these BBs, and I've done a lot of research online about whether it'll actually work to put those inside the tire to help balance it out. There's actually companies that use like a ceramic bead that are for really balancing tires, but I think BBs will work. And there's a lot of theories about it and a lot of speculation about what will happen with BBs inside your tire. They'll melt, they'll heat up, and they'll melt the rubber. They'll wear the rim down and the rim will blow up and all these different things. But the funny thing is, the testimonials of the people that I found that actually tried it had nothing to say bad about it. They said it works just great. The only thing is you might hear the BBs plinking around against the rim when you start to slow down and they stop being centrifugally held up into the tire and they fall towards the bottom. Which, I think I can live with that. I'm going to try it. And then we're going to go back and look at these later on and see how well it worked out. So, alright, here's what I've got to do today. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to the Jeep, I'm going to pull some tires off, come bring them back in here, and I'm going to wrestle them off of here, break them down, pull them off, and we'll start throwing those new tires on. And while we're doing it, we're going to throw about this much, about 3 ounces of BB in each tire. And hey, we'll see what happens. Okay, short intermission there as I attempted to repair, obviously, what was cheap parts that weren't meant to be used with that much force. So I put some braces on there, but it's on pretty good, so I'm going to keep working it. You guys just follow along. Let's see what's going to break next. Tool. Okay, so my braces worked. Just now where it's not braced, it bent. So back to the old add material to it board. We'll be back. Well, if anybody knows how to take a couple-hour project, turn it into a couple days, I do. Back after I change the spool of wire on my welder, and then I weld up this brace, and then we'll get back to mounting tires. guys, so this is where the magic happens. Right here. Okay, this is what's going to balance these tires, and they do it centrifugally. Oh no, one got away. They do it centrifugally. As you start going down the road, the BBs will line up and they'll kind of hunt for the place where it needs to balance itself out, and then somehow magically you have a smooth ride. There's lots of different theories out there on how many BBs are required, but one of the things I've read came down to ultimately a certain amount of ounces per pound of wheel and tire, and what I calculated was about 3 ounces for these tires right here. So I'm going to stuff these BBs in here. I'm going to wrestle this thing on the bead and air it up. We're going to see how this thing works. So this old tire machine, it's actually new. This tire machine kind of sucks. It's not real good. It's hard to get the tire back on the second bead over around it. There we go. When you mount this thing up. So I don't know if you saw that, but it's actually easier for me to just throw this thing on the ground and struggle it on there a lot quicker. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do from now on. I got 3 more of these tires to go, and once I get them all mounted up, I'll bring you back, and then the judging can begin on whether those BBs will work or not. Alright guys, I've officially given up on that thing, all except for breaking the bead. The bead breaker, once I rebuilt it, works pretty good. So, if you're like me, you want to do things on the cheap, change some tires in your garage, let me show you how you do it with just a couple of a tire tool, some pry bars, and some sweat equity. Let's get on it. Okay, so you're going to wrestle it off the rim. First thing you want to do is just get under there, hook it, and flip it over, okay? And then you use your heels here and your feet because you're going to create slack by pushing this bead down to the inside part of the rim, and that's going to give you the slack to work this other side out, okay? So, once you get one flip over like that, you step down on this side of the tire, and then you're just going to take a few small bites. Like that. And it shouldn't take much to work your way right around and pop this thing off. There we go. Okay, now, that's the easy part. The harder part is this inside one. Usually got to take about 2 bites with it. And by 2 bites, you're going to come in here, grab that tire. Again, you want to lift up the back side, the opposite side like this, to the middle of the rim to give it the slack to come off. And here, there we go. Okay. Alright, now, if the guy does this right, yeah. See what I have going here? I grab my big hammer. And just work off of there. There we go. The trick is we're hitting it right along the rim, but not hitting the rim. There we go. Okay. There we go. I like to use a little lubricant in here. Soapy water works. I use a little WD-40. It works well. Just along that bead. Okay. Back to the front. Here we go. Ready? Here's the trick. There we go. Okay. The idea there is you hook as much as you can. You get as much of a bite as you can. Then I'm going to come back here with my hammer. I'm just going to bang, bang, bang. Pop this outside rim on just like that. Or the inside bead on just like that. it gets a little bit more tricky. We got to use the same theory we did last time, right? The theory of getting one of these beads down inside of the inside groove of the wheel in the middle of it to create enough slack for the other bead to go around, okay? Watch how I wrestle this on here. We'll start by getting a little bit over a couple places, stepping on it, and I'll start working it around. And ideally, there we go, I'll just be able to walk this around, and as I do it, you can see right here by my toes, the tire is pulling down here in the middle. That's exactly what we want to have happen. There we go, this guy's going to go. Okay, keep the toes out of it, and there you go. And this is an important time that if you're going to add weights, like beads or something to the inside of your tire, now's the time to do it. I'll be right back. Okay, got that done. I almost blew that. Let's finish getting this guy seated. There we go. Around. It's in good shape. Take a rag, clean it off. That's it. The next thing we got to do is seat the bead, and then we'll throw it back on the car. Alright guys, I got the tires all mounted up on the old Jeep, and I gotta say they look awesome. Oh man, so my analysis of this whole thing with the Harbor Freight tire changer is it's probably not worth it. Just get the bead breaker and then wrestle them on and off. That's what I ended up doing. Either that or maybe it works better with smaller tires. That's my 2 cents. Hey, if you want to see how this project goes with the BBs and the rims for balancing, make sure you click subscribe so you can follow along and see future episodes. If you want to see more content like this, you know, just a normal everyday dude working out in his garage, doing projects, building hot rods, changing tires, working on his old Jeep, that kind of stuff, make sure you click on one of the videos you can see on your screen now. Thanks, let's keep building this community.